Hi everyone, hopefully you've managed to get onto the Teams page. Hello everyone from what I'm sure has been a totally crazy week for everyone. Just like you, I'm in lockdown in my house and I have the added benefit of all the chaos that's caused by my 3 kids. Here they are on the left. You can see, I'm sure you can imagine how noisy and chaotic and fun it is, but I hope all of you are well. I saw this sign today, SHN instead of NHS, which means stay home now. So hopefully you're all safe and just riding out this storm just like everyone else. I'm sure you're really anxious to know what's happening with your GCSEs. We don't have loads of information yet from the government. What we do know is that you won't be sitting your exams as planned in May and June. It's likely that your grade for this year is going to come from me. So I'll be asked to make a prediction of the standard that you've been working at across the year. So some of you I've been working with from October, and I've got evidence in your books and mock exams, your assessment booklet. Some of you you only came into my class in January, so I've got less information, but I've got work that you've completed, and it may be some time before I'm asked for a prediction. So that's why it's really important that you engage and continue to work really hard towards your GCSE so that I can give the most accurate grade prediction possible of the standard that you're working at. I'm going to put work on here in the lesson times that you would normally have, so Wednesday morning, Thursday afternoon, and there'll be work to submit on Teams. If I come out of this for a sec, I can show you what it looks like in Teams. So this is our home page. If you've got questions, you can put them in here. Someone else in the class might be able to help you, or if you want to go in the chat page, you can ask me questions directly. So I'll put your assignments. This is where I'm going to put any files that I upload, so any things that are useful for you. So that was your first assignment. But your assignments will be here. So your first assignment was due today. 5 people handed them in, and I've given those people feedback on what they handed in. So keep doing that with all your assignments, so I've got work so I can see what standard you're working at. And as I get to know more about this, I'll be able to use it more. I'm sure some of you are probably getting up to speed with Teams more than me. So if there's anything that I can put on that would be helpful, just let me know. So going back to our session for today, we're going to look at question 6, because that was the only question for paper 2 that we didn't really get a chance to look at in much detail before everything went crazy. So we've got 3 objectives: summarise how you get marks, practice identifying keywords in the question, and to evaluate a way of looking at the text. So this is just some overall pointers which read yourselves. These are the key things that are going to get you marks in question 6. So if I were you, I would pause the PowerPoint here and have a proper read through those to make sure that you understand the key things that you need to know about question 6. One of the main things is that in your introduction, you need to unpick the keywords. So I've got an example here. In this extract, the writer shows how positives can come out of traumatic situations. And the question always ends like this: evaluate how successfully this is achieved. So I would say in this question, the keywords are positives and traumatic situations. So I would want to be unpicking what that means. What is a positive? To what extent is something positive? Traumatic, does that mean physically traumatic, mentally, emotionally? What sort of trauma could that be? So you would need to read the text to be able to understand what these keywords mean. So there's 3 more here which I want you to do yourselves. So read each question and think for yourself about what the keywords are which you would need to unpick if this was the question for question 6. This is the last one. So think about, in your introduction, what would you say about these keywords? Whenever we're reading a non-fiction text, you need to be doing this. I feel like I almost had this tattooed on my head in front of your class, highlight and hashtag. So this is what you should always do with a non-fiction text to read it closely and actively. You should also be thinking about TAPS. So what type of text is it? Who was it written for? Who's the intended audience? What's the purpose of the text? And what style is the text written in? Those are the things that you should think about for any non-fiction text. So this is your extract that you're going to be looking at here. It's from a recipe book, and it's about someone who was cooking on a budget because she had no money. And it's about how she tried to cook cheaply for her son to still create healthy meals. So this is a zoomed in copy here. This is the question. This is the question. In this extract, the writer tries to show how others are affected by her experiences. So you need to pick out the keywords from the question and think about what those mean in relation to the text. I've done this for you. I've started doing this here. So others, what does she mean? Affected in what way? Positively, negatively? What were her experiences in this text? Were they positive or negative? First task, I want you to complete the introduction, add words in using the keywords in the question. So this is going to be your first task that you're going to do in a Word document. Type up this paragraph to start off your answer. Second task, I want you to plan 3 P paragraphs. So point, evidence, evaluate. I've given you bits and pieces from the table, but you need to do the rest. Again, put that in a Word document. This is the mark scheme for question 6. To get a grade 4 or towards a grade 4, you need to be getting smack bang in the middle of the mark scheme here, at least 7 marks out of 15. So have a close look about what you would actually have to do. What makes a level 3 harder than a level 2? What makes it not quite as strong as a level 4? Your last task, I'm going to show you in a second a real student's response to this question. So 3 things in your Word document. What mark would you give it out of 15? What went well? And how could it have been even better if? So give that student some constructive criticism. What could they have done to improve? I'll come out of this now and show you the marked script. So this is the first page. So this is someone that really wrote this in an exam. You could pause it here and read the first page of their response. Then this is the second page of their response. So think about what was in the mark scheme, what went well, how could it have been even better if. Remember, spelling, punctuation, vocabulary isn't being assessed here. This is just about the candidates understanding how have they evaluated that statement. Spelling, punctuation, vocabulary only comes into it in section B. So lastly, if you have a look at the key things that we've talked about today, don't be contrary. Remember that you should always be agreeing with the statement. Secondly, think about what the key words are in the question. You should use P, point, evidence, explain, to evaluate your points. You should focus on the facts for this question. It's not about looking for methods. You don't need to analyse the language. You just need to pick out events or ideas that agree with the statement. I hope you get on okay with that. If you've got any questions, you know how to find me here on Teams by looking at the chat section or by posting it on our main page, and someone else might be able to help you. Okay, so that is going to be due on Friday, and I'll post a second lesson on Thursday for you to... I'll post the second bit on Thursday for you to look at that session as well. Bye for now.